How are you doing today? I'm Undrai, Fizer. Just want to talk to a few of you pursuers and establishers of vision before me and Bridget get out of here for today. Hope you're doing well. You are doing well, right? And you're finding the Fizer Interglobal app good to have, I hope, right? Cool. How are you coming along with your vision and your... All right, someone just called. Okay, hope you still see me. If you still see me, raise your hands. Had a phone call to come in. Am I still on? Cool. Let me share something with you about vision. Vision has stages, just like when we grow up, we are conceived, we're embryo, we're born, we're toddler, we're infant, we're elementary, we're junior high, high school, adult, family. Vision is the same way. And sometimes we can destroy our purpose and destroy our vision because we're so excited at seeing the end. Let me put it this way. Let me just break it down. I don't need to break nothing down. I remember when I started exploring the vision back in 1991. In your mind, you need a building. And before you know it, you're trying to pursue a building. Most people, when they go into ministry, they try to find a building. And then people will prophesy a building. We'll be in a place and someone will say, there are some ministers in here. God says the building is coming. And we lose our mind because we're trying to get a building because we are in competition with the end result that we see. We're so enamored with how it looks till we forget the stages of the embryo at the beginning. And the scriptures say, despise not small beginnings. And it's also meaning don't despise the embryo. Don't despise the concept. Vision starts with an embryo, with a concept, with the intimate connection between you and God, with you and possibility. And vision is birth. Vision is birth before it's born. When a woman is pregnant, you don't see the baby bump. She has the seed in her. As soon as the seed is caught, she is pregnant, even without the bump. How many of you have a baby, have a concept of a vision? You have an embryo of a vision. And when you know that you're pregnant, because life has told you that you're pregnant, and the test revealed that you are carrying something, you must begin to protect the vision in the concept, in the embryo. And so many times, the grandeur of what the adult vision will look like will cause us to ignore the embryo. So if you don't master the embryo, you're not going to have the adult that you're dreaming about. And so many people can look at your potential as a pregnant person or as a person that's carrying an idea, and they can say you should be much farther along, to the point they will cause you to sabotage because they have encouraged you out of season. And now you're going for the adult, and you have forgotten how to establish the embryo of vision, or the toddler of vision, or the infancy of vision, or the elementary stage of vision, or the middle school stage of vision, because you feel that you've had it long enough and it's time for something. Vision grows as though our human stages are. Vision is a result of our human stage of life. We're conceived, we're born, we are nurtured, we're in elementary school, we make mistakes, we go back and forth, we're in junior high, and we have to complete. Every stage has a grade, every stage has a period of time for us to learn a lesson. When we're in elementary school, we go through 5 to 6 years of instruction. When we're in middle school, we go from 2 to 3 years of instruction. When we're in high school, we go through 3 years of instruction. You understand what I'm saying? Every stage has eras of learning where we must exhaust ourselves in our becoming. Your vision is the same way. Your vision is the same way. Your vision must develop. And so many times we have the end in sight, what we want it to look like. You know, I remember when Bridget was pregnant, I could see my children grown already. So I'm preparing for grown children. But it's like, no, you need to prepare for this embryo. Raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying. Vision is like that. Are we handling the stage of vision, or are we allowing people to talk us into the end result till we begin to abort the stages? When your vision is in an elementary stage, you don't get adult money for an elementary stage concept. I don't care how long you've thought of it. Thinking of an idea and birthing the idea are two different things. When the vision is an embryo, you don't get adult money. You don't get adult contracts for an embryonic stage vision. I don't care how grown that vision is in your mind. I don't care how you write it on paper and make it big. You can't make the vision bigger than the stage that it's in. Am I making sense? You can't make the vision sound as though it's an adult when it's really an elementary school vision. And you can't try to demand adult money for an infant vision. And we go broke because we're trying to demand adult money for infant vision. We're trying to attract corporate fundage for an embryonic vision. I don't care how long you've carried it in your head. As long as it's in your head, that's not money. And as soon as you release the vision, it's an embryo. It's an infant. It's a toddler. And it must be nurtured. Every idea must be nurtured as a child, regardless of how grown you see it to be, regardless of how you see it's going to help the world. It can't help the world yet because it's too small. Too small don't mean you're thinking too little. That's all it can do. And so many times we destroy people by telling them, you're not thinking big enough. No, I am thinking big, but every grown child of mine, I have 3 grown children. They all were small when they came here. I am thinking right. It's just that the vision is a baby. I am thinking big, but I have to grow my vision big. You can't create a big vision. You create a child which grows into. And we have destroyed ourselves. A lot of acts of faith that we've made have left us broke, in poverty, and ruined. A lot of acts of faith we have made, a lot of things that we've included God in has destroyed our money. A lot of things that we've added God to have destroyed our families, have destroyed our retirement, have destroyed our finances. And then we say, God, I took a chance with God. No, you put him in a place that you didn't know about. You used God to accelerate your child. And you can't make your child grow any faster than what it is. Jesus said, you can't make your hair change colors. You can't make yourself older. You have to grow into it. You understand what I'm saying? You can't make yourself grow any faster than what you are. And a lot of times we have ruined people. And I understand. You're thinking too small. Think big. No, I'm thinking right. I can't make a big vision after I just grew it. And so many times what we're doing is ruining the stages of growth. We're ruining the stages of growth, and we're tailor-making ourselves to be something because we're trying to establish corporate funds for something we just birthed. And sometimes we can get encouragement out of season. Somebody can say, I see you doing this bigger than that. You're playing too small. And it's like, no, grow it from being small. Grow it authentically with nobody. Let God give you the infancy. Let him make you pregnant first. Let's see how you handle the idea in your head first before anybody can see it. Let's see how you handle this idea in your head first. Let's see what the pregnancy, because when you have the pregnancy before the baby bump, it changes your diet. Let's see how well you handle information before you put it on paper. Let's see how well you change your spiritual diet. Let's see what you begin to eat. Let's see what type of father and what type of mother you become before the baby bump. Let's see how well your parenting skills grow before the baby bump. Even when you get a spiritual vision based on an idea or a business, let's see how it changes Let's see how it changes your financial management before you do the business. You have the idea. Let's see how it restructures your stewardship before you do the business. Let's see how well you pay bills before you do the business. Let's see how well you save money before you do the business. Let's see how well you communicate with other people before you do the business. Because now let's see how well you establish the language before you do the business. You understand? Don't quit your job yet. Let's see how well you become a business owner before you own the business. Let's see how well you handle the administration of business before you do the business. Let's see how well you do your bookkeeping on your receipts and on your car note and on your mortgage and on your rent before you do the business. Let's see how well you handle paperwork and gas receipts and grocery receipts before you do the business. Let's see how well the income in business is changing you, the first employee of the business. Before you spend a lot of money on coaching at how to create a business, let's see if you can spend money on coaching to get your regular life together. Let's see if the coaching can help you get your regular life together before you launch. Am I making sense? Or I'm telling you something that I had to learn the hard way. You understand? Because I was so enamored on creating the building and getting the end results, that the vision needed to show me how to be a good steward first. The vision needed to show me how to live the life that others would receive once they hear my teaching. Because if I'm trying to create an environment where I could just spit out all of my revelation and people could give me an offering for it, that's crazy. I needed to become what people would come after they would practice what I teach. I needed to become first what people would become after they practice what I teach. Because if I'm only wanting to create a ministry so people could hear how well I can spit out information, then I'm in the wrong situation. I needed to become the first epitome of what people would be once they practice what I talk about. And if I'm talking something and I'm not becoming nothing, then I don't need to get a business card to launch myself out to get paid for talking something. I don't need to sell my words. I need to become all my word. I need to become the epitome of all what my word would be if you use it. I needed to master every stage from concept, I needed to master it from concept to embryo, to infancy, to elementary, to junior high, to high school, to college, to adulthood, to corporation, to family. My vision needs to create a family. Like I said, you have to go through every stage of vision. Your vision as a concept, your vision as an embryo must change your natural stewardship first. When your vision is in its embryonic stage, it would change your diet and how you steward your life. When you become a new parent, you begin to get the house ready for your child. You begin to get the house prepared for another life. When you become a parent before you become a physical parent, when you become a parent in the embryonic stage, you begin to prepare your life for the expansion of your life. You expand it. And that's the way it is in vision. When God gives you an idea, that's an embryonic stage. You prepare your house. How many of you, when God gives you a divine idea, you prepare your mind, your consciousness, your diet, your information, and you prepare your circle, your friends, your family, your houses? How many of you, once you got the idea, you prepared everything for the idea? Instead of trying to find a way to make money off it first, you prepared yourself for it. How many of you done that? When you received it, when you got the divine idea, you begin to prepare everything for the idea. You prepared your mind, your heart, your soul, your family, your finances, and everything. Vision will make a steward out of you first. When you have an embryonic stage vision, it would make a life steward out of you first. That's the mistakes we usually make. We get business cards and we look to ways of incorporating because we're trying to make a brand out of an embryo. We're trying to make a brand out of an embryo. And so we miss it because we feel the time that we've invested in the embryonic stage was the experience when you don't even have the child yet. Sometimes we do the wrong things when the vision is in embryonic state. We do the wrong thing when the vision is an embryonic situation. And so what happens when my wife and I found out we were going to be parents? Yeah, we made an announcement, but what we had to do was prepare everything. How do we spend? How do we do? It's the same way with spiritual vision. And sometimes when you become a good parent, people can make you do things too much. They can make you accrue different costs that you don't need to have at the time to grow the vision. Are you making the vision bigger than what it is in its stage? Don't sabotage the vision that's in an infant stage. You can't pray for acceleration. Just like I'm 54 years old. I didn't become 54 in 3 weeks. But I know what it's like to have an ego. I know what it's like to be in the 10th grade and say, a lot of people come to me and talk to me. A lot of adult people talk to me, and I'm just in the 10th grade. It feels good to be young, tailoring to older people. It feels good to be young. It feels good to be young and handling adult people. It expands the ego. It feels good to be a young African American and you got different cultures asking about you. I'm just a young black man and all these people. Because after a while, your vision is going to start to brag. And a vision that brags a lot is going to lose a lot of money. Because I'm happy at the people who are seeking me out. And what it does is it gives you a little ego because, it makes you smarter than what you are until a situation comes and you'll see how smart you really are not. I'm talking from what I know. Sometimes we can make our vision bigger than what it is. We see the end in sight. We see what it could be. We see how powerful it could look. We see it. And we're forgetting the stage that we're in. So before I go, don't forget to look at part 1 because we got cut off earlier. So I'm just going to finish this a little bit. Look at part 1 of the stages of vision. This is stages of vision, part 2. What stage do you feel your vision is in? I'm asking you a question. What stage? Is it an embryo? Is it an infant? A toddler? Is it learning to ride a bike? Is your vision learning how to ride a bike right now? Don't think internationally. If it's just not getting accustomed to riding a bike. Sometimes when our vision is in a certain stage, like I said in part 1, we're hungry for corporate money. We're ready to leave our jobs and we're ready for corporate money. And it's like, my vision is just 2 years old. I could get corporate money for a toddler vision. I still need to support the toddler. I need to get a scholarship for the toddler because this toddler isn't a prodigy. This toddler isn't ready to go to college. What stage is your vision in? What stage is your idea in? Because so many times we go straight to the spectacular till we forget the seed that must grow into the tree. So many of us start with tree vision instead of seed vision. Now, once you have a tree vision, that means you've received the end result. And then the end result is going to back you up to the seed and say, now grow me up like a child. Grow me into the adult I need to be. Before I go, how many of you have grown your vision into the adult it needs to be? Oh, because I know all of us want our children to be grown. We all want our children speaking Spanish when they're 3 years old. We all want our children to do adult-like things and say, see how special my child is? Your child going to do something to let you know you need to do something. Your child is going to do something to make you forget all the miracles they're doing. You feel what I'm saying? Vision is just like that. It needs to be wiped. It needs to learn how to use the restroom on its own. It needs to learn how to feed itself. How many of you, your vision has learned how to feed itself? And once a vision learns how to feed itself, it's very messy doing it. When your child began to feed itself, your child fed itself messy. It got the food in its mouth, but it got food on its chest, it got food on the table, it got food on the floor. Your vision, when it learns how to feed itself, is going to make a mess. How many of you know what stage your vision is in? Don't let people mess you up. Don't get so caught up in flattery till you despise the stage of your vision because somebody said, hey, you better do it big. Because they're looking at your child being too small. How many of you know what stage your vision is in? I'm asking a legitimate question. Because if we're going to talk about it, and if we're going to do it, and if we're going to inundate social media with our vision and try to get customers and stuff, it's good to know what stage your vision is in. What stage your vision is in, because you're going to attract the stage. You and I are going to attract the stage of our vision. If we're going to attract the mental stage of our vision at what it's supposed to fix. And as much as I want to attract millionaires, if I'm attracting people who don't know where they are, then I'm attracting that stage. I'm attracting people who are trying to find the classroom. I may be attracting high schoolers. I may be attracting high schoolers who are trying to find the classroom, who still haven't convinced themselves that they need to do their homework. Oh, yeah. Am I making sense? Let me know I'm making sense. Oh, yeah. Sometimes if my vision is still in elementary stage and I'm looking for millionaire money and my vision is too young to handle that money. So whenever you become a new parent of a purpose, begin to look at how it's helped you prepare your own natural stewardship. Don't look for the vision to grow up so it can compensate for your stewardship. Because I want my vision to get me off my job. Well, I understand, but your child is too small to take care of you. Your kid is too little to take care of you right now. You still have to take care of it. So has this child expanded your personal responsibilities? Has this new thought, listen, has this new revelation expanded your personal stewardship? Wow, that makes sense, huh? We forget about that. Has this new thought reestablished your personal stewardship? And if this new thought has yet to reestablish your personal stewardship, you're going to kill that child. And you're going to sit there and invite God into a situation and into a decision that's going to bankrupt you. Because I'm bringing a big God into this thing. And now I'm bankrupt because I brought God into it. Because God's going to help me make it big. And it's not about getting big. When you have a child, you're not looking for your child to go to college tomorrow. You're enjoying the stage of this baby. How many of you, when you gave birth, because once you have a vision, that's an embryo, and it starts growing in you, it means your mind is growing, your consciousness is growing. And then there's going to come a day that you're going to give birth to an infant. The embryo is going to become an infant. It's going to mature from a seed to an infant. And you gave birth to an infant, and you're going to enjoy the time you have with your infant. How many of you really enjoyed the moments you've had with an infant vision? You don't spend time trying to get ropes on the infant's leg to stretch it out so it can become a man. You're feeding it. And at that time, your vision can't talk at the moment. Your vision don't know how to communicate with other people. You have to speak for your vision. Am I making sense? When you have a baby, the baby can't talk to anybody else, but it talks to you through goo goo, gaga, and it's crying. And your baby wants to eat a lot, and it wants to sleep a lot. So you're asking, where's the money? Where's the people? Well, your vision is resting. Your vision is asleep. You have to feed it. You have to feed the vision. You have to put money in it. You're feeding the vision. And after a while, you see the vision getting fat, but it still can't walk. The vision is taking shape, but it still can't walk. It's growing. The concept is growing, but it still can't walk on its own. And then one day the vision begins to walk on its own, but you still got to feed it. Am I making sense? Imagine looking at your business, and imagine looking at your purpose, and imagine looking at your creative ideas in the same stage that you grew up. Because you're going to find out that the vision you give birth to is really you. You're not giving birth to an object. It's really you. The vision you're giving birth to is just another supernatural version of yourself. It's really a divine version of yourself. That's all it is. And you find yourself becoming addicted to feeding this other idol or this other image of yourself, forgetting about you. So never forget about you. This vision is you. I found out after all of the years my wife and I was developing vision I thought I was building a module to help people until I found out I was really building me, another version of myself, of how to see myself, of how to feed myself, how to stand on my feet, how to grow through every stage, how to become the epitome of every stage of what my word would lead you to. I had to become the guinea pig of every stage of my word. I had to become what you would become if you practice what I talked about. I had to become the success of everything. So when it seems like your vision is slow, it's not slow, it's in a stage. You have to become this other part. You just can't talk it and get paid for it and say, look at God. No, look at God through every stage of it. So before I go, what stage is your purpose in right now? What stage is your vision in? What stage is in? Be patient with it. Don't let people push you to make it bigger than the stage it's in. You understand? I'm Undrai Fizer. Peace.